Hello. Today is Friday, July 19th, 2024. I'm Theodore Parker. This is a sideshow coming to you from Lexington, Kentucky. The weather today, the high will be 86 degrees, times of sun and clouds. Highs in the mid-80s and lows in the mid-60s. Weird pattern to create weather flip-flop. Today, sunrise was at 6:30 a.m. Sunset will be 8:57 p.m. The wind around 4 miles per hour. The AQI is good at 29, and pollen is high. As I said, this is a sideshow. I'm Theodore Parker. And if you're watching the sideshow on Facebook and Instagram, don't forget to like, comment, and share. Talk about it on WhatsApp. If you're watching the sideshow on YouTube, like, comment, share, and subscribe. And the sideshow coffee cup, 11-ounce black ceramic, good for all beverages, hot and cold, dishwasher safe, with the logo on the side. Buy from me for $17 plus shipping and handling. Pay me through Cash App. My Cash App tag is $TR Parker 1. So getting into the news today for Friday, July 19, 2024, halfway through the month of July. You may have noticed that I don't do a lot of reporting of crimes unless they have like a special interest factor, because as I've stated previously, crime has two outcomes. Person either lands in jail, and if there's violence involved, it's highly possible that they will wind up dead. So on that note, Kentucky has state police have instituted a program which has been going on, and it's referred to as Operation Summer Heat. So Governor Andy Beshear said on Thursday that a sweeping investigation into suspected drug trafficking rings has produced more than 200 arrests and drug seizures valued at nearly $685,000. He also touted prevention and treatment programs fighting the deadly addiction epidemic. Drug seizures totaled 554 grams of fentanyl, 219 grams of cocaine, 4,862 grams of methamphetamine, 41 grams of heroin, 2,931 fentanyl pills, 50 hydrocodone pills, 64 oxycodone pills, and 90 hallucinogens, the commissioner said. The street value of the listed drugs seized is about $684,953. Authorities also recovered $37,159 in cash, $10,000 in stolen tools, and one stolen vehicle during the operation. Just thought I would let you know what it is that's going on. So, beginning with today's news. J. Michael Caine dies in fall from Midtown Manhattan suite. Fandango founder was 64. Joe Biden says he would consider dropping out of the race if a doctor told him to. As you know, currently, the president is undergoing treatment for a case of COVID-19. And just to kind of give you an understanding of it, since we've come out of the pandemic, treatment for COVID-19 has kind of changed. There's a special group of medicines that are given, and the quarantine time has been reduced to like 5 days. The timing of it, to me, because I was really impressed about the debate when President Biden mentioned that he had a schedule that ran from 7 in the morning till midnight, and in making some changes, he wanted to change the fundraisers to move them to 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. to allow people to get home early. And that to me is a humongous schedule. It's enough what is required by being president of the United States in general, but just to run from sunup to sundown and further is going to take a toll on you. So even with all the help that's provided. So now he has COVID-19. The Republican National Convention is winding up after 4 days, and it's about time for the Democrats to take over. So it was in that tone to say, well, you take the hand that's dealt to you, and I guess 5 days of rest wouldn't hurt. So that's where it's at right now. So Joe Biden says he would consider dropping out of the race if a doctor told him to, which is understandable. Kentucky officials say whooping cough is spreading at an elevated rate of infection. Michael Jackson estate wins tentative ruling to end $600 million catalog war with Katherine Jackson. Africa's richest man, Aliko Dangote, shares why he doesn't want to own a home abroad. And this is from Face Africa, dated July 16, 2024. Some of the excerpts from the article. Despite Nigeria's economic challenges, Forbes magazine listed him as Africa's richest man for the 13th consecutive year in January. His net worth increased by $400 million over the past year, reaching $13.9 billion, Forbes added. The 66-year-old business mogul, who built his fortune in cement and sugar and recently opened an oil refinery in Lagos, shared why he doesn't own a house outside Nigeria. As Nigeria's wealthy elite are known for their opulent properties and lifestyles, often known for their opulent lifestyles and often own properties in cities like London, Dubai, and Atlanta, Dangote, however, explained his choice was driven by a desire to see Nigeria grow. Rudy Giuliani drains half a bank account for personal expenses while creditors pursue what he owes them. Lexington Restaurant Week 2024 kicks off. That was Thursday. Here's what's offered. The 10-day event is full of area food for a special price. Lexington Restaurant Week is entering its 11th year, highlighting the food culture in the city. Those who do choose to celebrate will be able to pick from more than 30 area restaurants that offer 3-course specials at a fraction of the cost of a typical meal. Depending on the restaurant, customers can select a dish from each course on the menu, with prices ranging between $45, $35, and $25. The purpose of Restaurant Week in Lexington is to encourage foot traffic in the city and the downtown area where most of these restaurants are located. Comedian Bob Newhart, deadpan master of sitcoms and telephone monologues, dies at 94. I best remember him from the Carol Burnett Show. And the comedy that Carol Burnett presented. He was a mainstay in that group of people that appeared on the show. Miami real estate mogul Sergio Pino found dead at $8 million mansion after claims he poisoned wife with fentanyl. Next one, Snoop Dogg slammed with copyright lawsuit over alleged unlicensed usage of backing tracks. Now this kind of like has all the ingredients that Hollywood seems to make known to people that are pursuing music and want to make money. I myself know that the Copyright Office in Washington, D.C., for one thing, and this is learn as you go, you know, like I say, the business side of making music. A record label, I mean, I found out as an individual, but a record label would be presenting a number of songs for copyright, all dated within a 3-day period at, when I last checked, $60 a song. Okay? And when you get into areas of business in music like this, it's like a college student, a university student writing that final paper, and then the question of plagiarism comes up, and you just kind of like hold your breath. But if you're careful, attention to detail, then that usually does not happen. So, Snoop Dogg slammed with copyright lawsuit over alleged unlicensed usage of backing tracks. I'm going to share this with you because some of the details do bear attention. Snoop Dogg got hit with a copyright infringement lawsuit on Monday, July 15th, after veteran producer Trevor Lawrence Jr. accused him of using 2 of his backing tracks without proper licensing or payment. Snoop Dogg warned GE corrupt surprise, okay, some of the other things that are going on. Lawrence is a producer and drummer who's been credited on songs by Alicia Keys, Mariah Carey, Bruno Mars, and more. He claimed that he formulated 2 backing tracks on spec and said Snoop could experiment with the tracks in studio. But he says he made it known that this doggy-style rapper would need to pay an upfront cost and additional ongoing royalties if the final songs were released commercially. Per Billboard, the rapper reported he used the tracks on Pop Pop and Get This D from 2022's BODR. However, in the lawsuit, Lawrence said that a formal licensing agreement is non-existent and no money has ever been paid out to him for these tracks. To date, defendants have refused to properly license the Lawrence tracks or compensate Lawrence for their use in the Snoop Dogg tracks. Lawrence's legal team wrote and also named Death Row Records as a defendant. Lawrence offered an example of how he often shops backing tracks around with the understanding on both sides that a proper license will and must be negotiated before the song is commercially released. In the lawsuit, he said that he told Snoop the cost to use the tracks would be a $10,000 flat rate and a 50% interest in the song itself, and that his team accepted the terms. Yet when Pop Pop and Get This D came out, he was neither paid or credited, and noted that both records are released as NFTs, which reportedly garnered tens of millions of dollars. At no point in time did the defendants communicate to Lawrence any intention to exploit the Lawrence tracks in connection with the bundled offerings such as the NFT sale, nor did Lawrence authorize any such exploitation of his work, which was never within his prior contemplation, said Lawrence's attorneys. Snoop has not yet responded publicly on the matter, but this case is similar to the one between Tracy Chapman and Nicki Minaj, where the country pioneer accused the rapper of illegal sample usage. In 2020, a federal judge ruled that artists like Minaj are free to experiment with such materials to help boost innovation within the music industry, but it violates copyrights once a song is released. The case was settled for $450,000. We have real life and we have the Hollywood version of what goes on. It's the weekend. That's it. Hashtag.